Hey, and welcome. We're chatting things up about Bundesliga 2 right now. I'm trying to pull up. Do they have it on the site, or do I gotta go? But yeah, fellas, we are in the home stretch. Last match day coming up here. It has been kind of simultaneously. I guess it has been the longest season like ever, in a lot of ways. But then also, it's kind of gone by in a blink of an eye. It's been really strange. Seems like just yesterday. Bayern were in shambles. Kovac was there. We were looking at a picture of the table. I think it was from back in November, um, with Gladbach in the lead. Schalke was up there in the top four. I think they were sitting at third at that point. Just how much things have changed in a matter of months. Um, but let me get out my feelings, fellas. Everybody doing all right tonight?
Yep.
Yep, just hanging in there for a Monday.
Yeah, one of those days. It's tough too now with having all of our fixtures on one day. I'd kind of gotten used to having kind of a sprinkle of these weekday fixtures to look forward to. We were even having, I think, what was it, a couple weeks ago? We basically had it every day. I think we were just like missing like 2 days of the week, and we had football like all the rest of the days with Pokal and um, the weekday fixtures kind of spoiled us.
Yeah.
Crazy that it's been a month since they returned.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that's something we can touch on. Just quick thoughts. I think we did talk about this, but now that we've had a couple of weeks of getting to see what the Premier League has to offer, I don't know if you guys have watched a whole lot, but I felt it's kind of funny because I know a lot of people were criticizing the Bundesliga when they came back. Talking about sloppy play, teams not getting up for games without the fans. You name it. And I've just seen some highlights from Premier League that it's looking kind of rough. Keenan, I know Arsenal's your squad over there. Not pretty sights right now. And I know that this show isn't isn't from Premier League, so I'm not going to go on and on about it. But I wanted to get y'all's thoughts, like just looking at the way that the Bundesliga's handled this, and then kind of a snapshot as we're looking at these other clubs. Um, is it fair to say that the Bundesliga is still the front runner as far as this post-COVID league structure?
Yeah, Bundesliga. Well, here's what I would say. This amplifies or magnifies all of the pre-existing issues that the other leagues have had that we felt the Bundesliga did better, whether it was VAR or fan experience or whatever. I think you're seeing just how much better the Bundesliga is as an organization of handling those details of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you say fan experience, because I think that was one of the major thing for the Bundesliga that nobody can argue is the fans. And we're talking about Bundesliga 2 because I was seeing some stats. Bundesliga 2, the number one two-tier, whatever you want to call it, relegation league in all of Europe for attendance, which I think is interesting. I guess Bundesliga is number one as well, so it shouldn't be much surprise. But we're looking at Bundesliga doing that without the fans. The one thing that people are like, okay, yeah, they do have a lot of people at those games, and not having that and still putting on this performance. But it's going to be, it's going to be tough, because we're going to slowly sink back into the realities of big television deals. We just heard this week that Bundesliga's television rights, at least domestically in Germany, did get cut. I think about 60 million was the total from the budget there. What does that mean? It's less TV money for the clubs. Obviously, this was impacted by COVID-19, and just I guess general interest in the league. But that's where I feel like we're gonna slowly sink back into is like, hey, at the end of the day, Premier League's got a bunch of money to pump out these TV deals, and that's what people are gonna flock to. And it stinks, because it's like we had this moment. It's like, look at everything we got to offer, but I think from some is like, at the end of the day, I'm not sure a whole lot's gonna change. Maybe that's just me. Look, Steven, you wanted to touch on Bundesliga too, so we'll open up the show for that. You want to paint a picture for what we've got going this
Yeah,
coming weekend in League Two and what's on the line there?
yeah. So there's a lot of line. There's a lot of on the line with Bundesliga too. Um, mainly positioning. We have Armenia, who already clinched first title. Stuttgart is guaranteed to be um, in because there's no way that Heidenheim or Hamburg can pass them, so they're automatically in. So right now it's just a battle of Heidenheim and Hamburg for that third playoff spot. So this coming up weekend is going to be crucial for those two. And Armenia plays Heidenheim this weekend, and Hamburg plays Sandhausen. So depends on if Armenia wants to, um, what kind of role Armenia wants to play. That's to be seen. If they want to go, obviously, I think they're going to try to go out as strong as possible, since I think it's their last game as well, if I remember correctly. But knowing Heidenheim has a point in hand at Hamburg, um, a, Heidenheim needs to win to guarantee that playoff spot.
Yeah, and I just real quick. I mean, I think you said Sandhausen. So this week it is Armenia and Heidenheim, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then you've got Hamburg. Yeah, Hamburg and Sandhausen. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, and the thing that I've been touching on too is that Hamburg now, because of the bottle job last week, they don't get to decide their own fate, which I know you're saying there is that
Yep.
they're reliant on Armenia taking care of business, and that's always an interesting spot because Armenia's already got the title locked up. You know,
Yep.
they already had their big celebration. They're getting promoted, so it's like, they could come out and do a favor for Hamburg, or I'm sure they do want to end strong, but it's not going to be easy road for Hamburg. And they're one of
Nope.
those sides, people joke about. They're one of those sides that you can easily get caught up in the hype with and be like, oh yeah, they're back. Everybody loves Hamburg. They're one of the original Bundesliga clubs, and then they break your heart, which was kind of the story of them in top flight. Right before they got relegated, people kind of had hope like they're going to make it out,
And this happened. This had to happen to Hamburg last year too. They were
yeah,
right there. They were right there at the top, and I think they got passed by. I think it was Union.
yeah, I think it was.
At like the last couple matches of the year. So it's not the first time Hamburg has bottled being promoted, but that's the top. And then, I mean, if we really want to talk about it, Dresden is going down to the third, and Wiesbaden is going down to the third as well.
And is Bayern 2 still number one in Liga 3?
I think so.
Last I saw, which I think was this morning, they were.
Yeah, and they can't get promoted, which is what's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, what would happen to, since Bayern 2 is first?
I
Like,
guess it'll just bump down, right? It's like with
Yeah.
second. Yeah, so the team's behind then, which kind of sucks for them. It's like we won the league, we can't even get promoted.
They have to change that. It sucks.
But that's props to them because they struggled early in the year. If you remember, and then Davies came down there. They had I think they've still got Reed down there, but had a lot of the guys that had some top flight experience come back and really balled out for them, only to be kind of pulled away again, as we've seen with a lot of them coming back with top flight. But hey, they're getting the job done. Shouts to my man Chris Richards. We'll touch on that. Got his first team, as well as another youngster for Bayern who broke the new record for youngest Bayern Bundesliga debut. So a lot to touch on. Steve, appreciate you painting that picture for Bundesliga 2. Folks, if you don't have any interest in Bundesliga 2 and just are interested in some exciting relegation promotion football, this is the weekend. Also, if you're not familiar with Bundesliga, there is a playoff system. So the team in third in Bundesliga 2 and the third to last in Bundesliga 1 will be, did I say that right? We'll be playing each other in a two-legged playoff. Which is highly criticized. A lot of people say that it needs to go. I, for one, like it. I just think it's interesting. It kind of adds a twist. But I can also see
It kind of gives like a Pokal Cup kind of feel because
yeah.
you have a second division going up against the first division team.
Yeah, and it's one of those like on paper anything can happen. I know we've said like historically the Bundesliga 2 team. I think over 2 legs, you're gonna pick them.
Yep.
But still, it kind of gives that glimmer of hope. Obviously, that's where
That's
Bremen.
a whole
Go
nother
ahead.
it's a whole nother development to the relegation race because there's a chance that if you can fight to get into 16th place as opposed to 17th, you're not automatically going down. Whereas
Right.
in other leagues, if you're in 16th, and you're automatically going down, and the point differentials can cause you to lose that battle. So now, given the standings, we still have a battle to some extent. Whereas if we didn't have the playoff spot, we wouldn't have that battle.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and that's. I mean, we've got our teams that are set. I think even in Bundesliga 1, right? I mean, we're definitely losing Paderborn, but then it's going to be a matter of that last spot with Bremen and Dusseldorf.
Right. So there's
Um,
still a battle there for not automatic relegation.
exactly. Yeah. Which we'll get to the call there because that's another one that's Bremen, haven't really done themselves favors. They had a big fixture against Mainz, which we will touch on. I know I keep saying that, but that's another one that's like you take care of that, you can really put things in your own hands. Now you're kind of relying on other teams to do things for you, and I know that's something that Keenan always says is take care of your own destiny, so you're not in a position where you're like, and you can't even sit and watch the other games because they're at the same time as you. So, got to be nerve wracking.